going on, everyone? Just going for a ride in the Bird, listen to some ZZ Top, but I wanted to take a little bit of time to give you guys an update. Probably wondering why I keep posting videos of this car with different exhaust on it, and it's because one thing about me is I'm a very indecisive person, especially when it comes to exhaust. I'll typically find something I like, and then I'll hear somebody, that sounds better than mine, and I'm like, well, I can't let them get away with that. So, this car originally came with a Flowmaster 80 series, so it was part of a catback that was installed when my mother first bought this car in 2001, when the car was only 4 years old, and I'm pretty sure that was just a American Thunder catback. So, a little while ago, the muffler blew out. She had it replaced with the same exact one, and I don't know, it sounded good. It was supposed to be an aggressive muffler, but it was just way too quiet. So then I did some shopping around, and I found the Spintech crossflow muffler. I'm like, well, that don't look too bad. I only really found a couple of videos with sound clips of it, so I'm like, well, I mean, it sounded good for what I can tell. And then I got it, and maybe, I just didn't let it break in enough, but it's still, again, just way too quiet. Louder than the Flowmaster, sounded better than it, but it was a no for me. So then I remembered a little while ago I had a Carvin R muffler on my truck, and I absolutely loved that thing. And then I remembered they made another TR series. I'm like, well, my kids are going to be in the back seat. I don't want this thing screaming loud, only for that reason. So I'm like, well, I'll get a TR, see how it sounds. And so far, I just blown away completely. This thing sounds way better than it has in its whole almost 30 years of life. So that's really what I'm trying to do, is trying to get this thing where it needs to be. It's kind of been just a normal, everyday stock car for, like I said, for almost 30 years, and I really just want to change that. Because, again, something about me, if you don't know me, I can't leave anything stock. I don't even care if it's meant to be a car that goes fast. If it's just some shit box, I'll still do something to it, That's just how I am. But anyway, let me go outside the car. I'm going to show you what I've been working on recently, and then also some things that I did under the hood. It's raining a little bit, but luckily it just cleared up. So, if you did see, and if you haven't, there's a spot of clear coat that was missing from this thing baking in the sun for the last 20-something years. But I got that all taken care of. Primered, smooth down, pretty good. I do have the correct color paint, and I'm going to get a better clear coat. The one I got now, it's a lacquer, and that was just really very dull and really, really gritty. So I'm going to get a, from AutoZone, it's like 20 bucks, a can of 1X. But I've recently seen this 2X clear coat you can buy off of Amazon, but I'm not sure I want to do that because, the 1X, it's still going to be almost a comparison to, clear coat that you use out of a spray gun. And I want it to kind of match this, because even though the car is almost, like I said, 30 years old, the paint isn't brand new. So I kind of want to blend it in and make it look like it was kind of with the rest of the stuff. So I did that. And I'm not really a body work person, but I'm pretty damn proud of how that came out. So now, see here, first thing is this Trick Flow intake elbow. And this is made of metal. So if you get one and you think it's plastic, it's not. And then, god damn, what the hell is smoking over here now? Uh-oh, I smell coolant. That's not good. Well, one thing is, that I did the, whatchamacallit, the coolant bypass for the throttle body. I took the whole throttle body off. I replaced the mounting gasket. I replaced the gasket for the little coolant passages, which honestly I didn't really need to, but either way I did it. And when I took this thing off, most of them, I think the older ones, come with just a gasket. Well, this one, it came with a rubber diaphragm that comes all the way, all through here, and there's a little like inlet or outlet passage there. Well, I made the mistake of taking this off, because when I did take it off, the whole back of it looked like ribbon candy, so I thought it may have been a vacuum leak. Well, I took it off and I put just the regular gasket on there, and all of a sudden I noticed that my oil pressure gauge was going wacky. It would build up pressure, and then like the millisecond I let off that throttle, it instantly dropped down to 20. So I'm like, well, that has to be that. And also, this hose here was so brittle it snapped off, so I just found some 1/2-inch hose and replaced it. That little breather there is staying in pretty good. I also replaced this Yvette purge valve. I did the idle air control valve. That's the whole reason why I took the throttle body off. And so with this little guy here, if you don't have the vent for the OptiSpark, you don't have to worry about this hole. But if you do, this did not come with the hole in it. You have to drill a 5/16 hole to do it. And I thought the hole would have been there because this one was. And then, you just put the rubber grommet in there and you're done. Well, this one, no. So I used, just the heart bits you can buy at Walmart, and that thing cut through it like butter. And one thing with this is this rubber grommet. It has a thick piece and then it has a thin piece on the bottom. Put the thick piece on top, otherwise you're gonna go put this or push this in, and it's just gonna fall right through. That's what it did to me the first time. Like, I knew it was going to, but anyway, I figured that out, and just for ha-has, when I put it back in, I just pushed the rubber grommet up onto this thing and just pushed the whole thing in, and then pushed the rubber grommet around all the way in there, and it worked beautifully. So maybe, I don't know, hopefully that's just water or something kicking around there. But anyway, I still have the crankshaft position sensor to do. I have the fuel pressure regulator to do that. I'm gonna kind of dread, I can get back there, but big hands and fat arms is the car version of fat guy in a little coat. What in the is this? Come on, man. This is the second time that has done that. And I think I might know why. Actually, I'm going to have to check my transmission fluid now. That could be one thing that's spewing. So anyway, the last couple weeks, this car has developed a really serious knock when I go to accelerate hard. So at first, I was thinking, it might have been like an axle or something with the rear end, but it doesn't do it all the time. I can take off gently, it's fine. As soon as I stab the gas pedal a little bit too hard, that thing slams. So I'm thinking it's a trans mount or a U-joint. And honestly, I'm gonna drive over here. I heard this thing clunk pretty good, and it came from around the center console. So now I'm pretty set on it might be the transmission mount. So that's another thing added to the list. But I just wanted to give you guys an update. So the next videos will be the installing those parts. Maybe, I know one video is definitely, I got to detail the hell out of this thing, man. This has been sitting like under a tree. Look at all this crap. Oh, dude, I got my work cut out for me, man. Look at all this. Oh, anyway, so that's about the update for now. Oh, while I'm at it, I guess I'll do a in-cab review of the Carvin TR. I did a cold start, so I'll do a warm start right now. Close that. I do have a different tip for this. It's a MBRP rectangle tip, and I would be fine with this one, but when I had the muffler put in, I have somebody else do it because I don't have a welder, and I asked him to shorten this pipe up a little. He's like, oh yeah, sure. No, he left it that way, and it sticks out way too far for my liking. So, but that's what it sounds like. It sounds way better than this car has, and it's, oh boy. And this was my bad. I thought you might have had to pry that off to get this door panel off, because I replaced the window motor, and I thought there was a problem with the regulator, because when I took the old window motor out, which was replaced with a new one anyway, the motor worked. So I just thought it was a regulator. But either way, just for ha-has, I threw another motor in here, and the window goes a little bit slower, but it works. It goes up and down. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm going to stop right there. But anyway, I tried pulling on this, and now it won't go back in. But with this stuff here, anyway, I wanted to get a new one. So, you know, there's little things here and there. Let's see. Nope. That's another thing, too. Sometimes these headlights pop right up. Sometimes I got to turn it back off, and then turn it back on. But I think that's the module for the headlights. Both motors are new. Oh, and also, my friend came to the realization that all the spots on my taillights weren't working. Just the spot where the brake and the directional were working, but all the way to the far, left and right, where those little bulbs are for the marker lights, those were out. So I replaced both of those. Both bulbs were shot. All of those work now. I replaced all the other bulbs just for ha-has, and I replaced the directional relay, or the blinker relay and the hazard relay, just because, might as well do them both while I have that whole panel off. So now this works, and that works instantly. Before, it would kind of just stay solid, and then it would like slowly flash as slowly as possible. And that was merely, a major safety issue for me, because by the time I put my blinker on and started moving over, my blinker wasn't even on yet. So I'm kind of just, cutting people off at that point. So we're gonna go for a little ride. Like I said, I'm gonna have to take it a little bit easy on takeoff, and hopefully you guys can hear it. But I will say one thing though, is when the T-tops are off and the window's down, and this thing screams very, very loud. So that was, gently taken off. That wasn't full throttle or nothing. With that new intake elbow I put on, I definitely need more fuel, I believe, because, hopefully after I do the fuel pressure regulator, I'm going to have the fuel filter done. Supposedly, my mother said it was done. The guy she brought it to, I don't really trust, so I'm going to have that done again. And then, like I've been saying all this time, I really don't know if the OptiSpark has been replaced. She had the water pump replaced, and I'm hoping whoever did that was smart enough to realize, well, that's out of the way, let's do the OptiSpark. And the fuel pump and the sending unit has never been replaced either. So, that's just a couple other things we got to dig into, but for now, I'm just going to finish up the things that I have yet to do to it. The crank sensor, the fuel pressure regulator, get that tip on. I'm going to bring this somewhere to see if they can diagnose if it is a transmission mount. If it is, I'm just going to have them do it. I don't have a lift, I don't have jack stands, and even if I did, I'm not the person to trust jack stands at all. Yes, for the most part, they won't give out, but the car can still slip off of it. And that's my main issue. So, that's, so far, we're all caught up. So, keep looking out for future videos.